Hello everybody, Christian Dragoon here, coming at you all on Zelda's channel, doing yet another guest upload for you all today. And I know not too long ago I did a Red Eyes deck profile, back before we got Red Eyes Insight and all those other good cards at the time. But I figured that since Insight and Black Comet Dragon are now a thing for Red Eyes now in TCG right now, I decided to at least do a little deck profile of Red Eyes, of how the deck has been a lot more effective, a lot more efficient ever since the new Red Eyes support came. Ever since new Red Eyes support came, Red Eyes has been a little bit more smoother, a lot more effective, and there's been a lot of things I decided to work around with the deck based upon the new improvements and new cards that Red Eyes has now recently gotten. Now the deck is still in a work of progress. There is some cards I do have an idea taken out, and other cards I do plan on maybe potentially put back in. But regardless, as a build in general, this build has been working very more efficient, very more effective, and this is probably the most efficient a pure Red Eyes deck has been in a very long time. Like, even when the Red Eyes first debuted, while it did have a good run when the new Red Eyes support at the time first debuted, it became even more efficient, and this is the best efficient it's ever been ever since Venom of Vengeance came out. And when Venom of Vengeance came out, Red Eyes has been doing a lot more effective, a lot more faster, bringing out their burn damage, bringing out their balls fusion monsters, all that crazy good typical such. So we'll go over the deck profile right here and such, and I'll explain to you all why I'm currently doing what I'm currently doing right here and such. So with that being said, let's move on straight into the deck profile. So, start off with the monster now. Let's get the boss monsters out of the way real quick. Start off with, of course, 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon. This is a Red Eyes deck, of course, so you definitely gotta play 3 copies of these. This guy is just amazing. Great for rank 7 Pixies plays, great as fusion materials, and he's not bad in general. Now, obviously, 24 attack isn't the strongest in today's format, in today's game, but it can go around and it can creep up to eventually, especially when it's combined and utilized with other cards here and there in particular. So 3 Red Eyes is definitely the way to go. Next up, we played 2 copies of Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. Now, if you've seen my channel, you've noticed that a good portion of my Red Eyes videos more recently, I've been making a habit of playing 3 copies of this card instead of 2 copies. Now, the reason why I dropped this card from 3 to 2 copies is because at the time I was playing 3 copies, this deck was more focused on bringing out Black Comet Dragon, not Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. So now this build is more effective and more efficient using both Archfiend Black Skull Dragon and Black Comet Dragon equally. I decided to drop down to Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon down to 2 instead of 3, because unfortunately when you play Red Eyes Fusion, when you bring out Red Eyes Archfiend Dragon, Archfiend Black Skull Dragon, you cannot use Black Skull Flare Dragon, not Black Skull Flare, Black Flare Dragon for the deck, because he's not treated as a normal monster unless he's on the field, so he can be a little bit uncooperative. Not his fault, just how Konami decided to write the cards out a little bit. And so when you play Red Eyes Fusion, if you want to bring out your Black Skull Dragon, you have to fuse Red Eyes Black Dragon specifically with your Summon Skull in order to bring out your Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. So, for right now, the moment, 2 Red Eyes Flare is still good regardless. Along with Red Eyes, I forgot to point out, it's pitchable black cards of Redstone. Of course, as I mentioned with Red Eyes Black Dragon, rank 7 Seas plays, great for fusion plays as well. The 24 attack doesn't always get there as much, but it does creep up eventually. And with him being a Gemini monster and having the effect where you get your normal summon off of him, he can do additional damage, is very, very efficient, allows the deck to speed up a lot of burn plays in there. And next for the fusion materials for the deck right here, only 1 copy of Red Eyes Impact Dragon. Previously I was playing 2, but as I said previously before, this deck is focused on bringing out Comet Dragon and Archfiend Dragon equally. So for right now, at the moment, Red Eyes Impact does have to go down 2 per deck, but at least unlike Summon Skull, at least with Red Eyes Impact, if he's in the graveyard or anything related to such, if you have him and Blackstone Legend in the graveyard, you can easily use Blackstone Legend's effect to put Red Eyes Impact back to your deck, while have this go back to your hand, so you could then once again have a fusion material when you play Red Eyes Fusion to bring out your Black Comet Dragon right there. And also, it's not a bad card in general. It's Gemini effect where all your Red Eyes monsters cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. It is very helpful. It has definitely gone around me, and not gone around me. It definitely has helped me out with some sticky situations, and that ability where my Red Eyes monsters got protected a little bit definitely did help me out in the long run, very, very much in the end. And then the only one copy of One Summon Skull. I definitely do not like this card in general, this deck right here, but it is something that you definitely need if you want to play Archfiend Black Skull Dragon's deck right here. But it's not terrible if you can bring it out with Return of Red Eyes. It is a 25 beat stick, which can technically get over some things I guess, but it's just mostly there just to be used as a fusion material, so you can bring on your Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. And once you set the graveyard, unless I find some cheeky way you use them or have some cheeky feeling use them with Return of Red Eyes or such, he's pretty much not that good other than that and such. And last for the boss monsters, we have the one Remedy, because everything's main deck is all dragons except for Summon Skull, and a good portion of your key cards in the extra deck are all dragons as well, so why not? And by the way, one thing I want to point out is that Remedy can bring out, as long as Black Comet Dragon and Summon Skull, Black Skull Dragon Summon were never negated, you can use Remedy's effect to bring them out, which is very powerful because while you don't get Archfiend Black Skull Dragon's effect to get the additional burn, he still keeps his ability to, when he's battling your opponent, can activate any card effects to end a damage step, which has been proven in the past is a very effective and powerful strategy in general. So Remedy, bring back 32 beaters with no card effects activated when battled. Pretty dang good. And then everything else for the monster land for the little guys with 2 black metal dragons. Even though we are playing 3 Rise Insights, this card is definitely very helpful. It does give you Rise monsters extra attack, of course, and when this card is set to the field of the graveyard, you can add any Rise spell attack card from your hand. So let's say things are awkward for you, and you are not able to get Insight or Fusion in your hand. No problem. It's a 7 face down past turn. Your opponent destroys them for whatever reason during their turn. This card gets destroyed. Guess what? You're going to use Black Metal's effect. Get out your Rise Insight, and then when your turn comes, your Insight is going to double Rise monster, so you can get your Fusion out, and then you're going to go ham with your Fusion monster, and all that crazy good stuff out of nowhere, so that's good. And then finally for the monster land, we have 3 copies of Blackstone Legend. I know a lot of people keep on saying that you really only need 2, but one of the reasons why I play 3 of him is because I'm currently playing 3 Lure of Darkness right now, 3 copies of it right now. And in case if I play Lure of Darkness, and if I'm forced to remove a Blackstone Legend, at least if I play doing so, and if I banish a Blackstone Legend with a Lure, I'll still have two Blackstone Legends, and the deck will be able to function just fine in case push stuff like that. But outside of that, Blackstone Legend is really great because it allows you to bring your Rise monsters very effectively, very fast, and if this card is in the graveyard along with another one of your Rise monsters, you could put this card back to your hand and one of these guys back from the graveyard back into your deck, which not only allows you to make more fusion plays more efficient, but also for next turn or later on such, you can also use this effect again to bring out that same Raz monster to make some more push power plays from there on such. So yeah. So 3 Black Metal Dragons or Black Star Legends are definitely very good. And that is it for the monster lineup. Now for spells, we have 3 Raz Fusions. No explanation with this bad boy out. Dump your dragons so you can get out either Black Comet or Archfiend Black Dragon, go ham on them. 3 copies of Rise Inside. This allows you to dump any Rise monster from your deck to the graveyard, which can be either him, or any of these guys. And then you can add any Rise spell track card from your deck to hand, except for not one of it. And you just can't play more than one of it once per turn. But as long as you get a really good search out of this card and you get the right play set up, that's not really going to bother you too much, because by the time you search out Fusion and bust down your Fusion, you're going to be getting your graveyard filled up with all the ammunition you need when you get your Archfiend or your Black Comet Dragon going very effectively, very fast. So 3 Insights are definitely good. 1 Silver's Cry. Oh, you only really need only 1 because we are playing 3 copies of Return of Dragon Lords. If something happens to return, where return, let's say, goes to 2 or 1, I will definitely put this card back to 1 to 2 per deck. But for right now, at the moment, 1 Silver Cry is just fine as is. Silver Cry is just a really good card in general. Not only good for obviously bringing back your Red Eyes monsters, but also, if push comes to shove, you can also use this to bring back your Res Impact if you need Res Impact's Gemini effect in order to do something in particular, which is always nice. 2 cards of Redstone. I was previously playing 3 as well, but I ended up dropping it down to 2 because I haven't really been seeing the Rise monsters really too oftenly. So really, all you really need is 2 cards of Redstone, and also by the time you play these 2 Insights, a good portion of your Rise monsters have already been dumped. So by then, cards of Redstone doesn't really become that needed no more. So that's why I dropped cards of Redstone down 2. It's still a good card. Allows you to pitch a Rise monster, draw 2. Level 7 will be more specific, of course. And then you can dump a level 7 Rise monster for your deck to graveyard, which is not bad as in general, of course. 3 return Dragon Lords, bring back your level 8 or 7 Red Eyes monsters. By the way, this also can be potentially used to bring back Black Comet Dragon. Push comes to shove, you really need to do that. Or your Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. And also that comes to shove as well, which is nice. Also give your dragons protection as well by banishing the graveyard when they're about to be destroyed. 3 Lures of Darkness, so we can draw 2 and then pitch out the Dark Monster return, so we can thin out our decks and draw 2 what we really need most. 2 Twin Twisters for back row hate, and then for the 1-ofs, 1 Soul Charge because Soul Charge? Wow. 1 Soul Charge because Soul Charge is stupid. 1 Rekeki because Rekeki is stupid. And 1 for 1 so we can drop either Black Star Legends or Black Metal Dragons a lot faster, a lot more effective as soon as possible. And that is it for the spells. Now with the traps, we play two copies of Red Spirits to bring back our Red monsters, mostly for Remedies, and then when we bring back Remedy with this card, Remedy can start dropping our dragons like there's no tomorrow. 2 Return of the Red Eyes. All we need to do is control a Red Eyes monster, and then we can also start dropping on normal monsters if they're on such. And also this card is destroyed, bring back any Red Eyes monster. So just like Return, if this card is destroyed, you can bring back Remedy with this card effect as well. And by the way, one more thing I want to point out real quick is that Rise Fusion, when a fusion monster is brought up by Rise Fusion, that fusion monster's name is treated as Red Eyes. So while you can't normal summon or special summon any further monsters after you bring out the fusion monster, you can set this face down, and then while you have Archfiend or Black Comet, and then when your opponent's turn, when it passes your opponent's turn, you can activate Return, and then your Return can start bringing back your Red Eyes monsters from there on such, which is nice. And then everything else for the traps is just a Song Brigade, 1 warning and 2 strikes. I would play 3, but I didn't have room for the 3rd strike. And I want to keep this deck as 40 cards as much as possible. So only 2 strikes is necessary as of right now. So yeah. So that's it for the spell trap lineup. That's it for the entire main deck. Now for the extra deck, for the fusions. For the fusions, we have 2 black copies, Black Comet Dragon. This card is awesome. Soon as all it requires is a level 7 Red Eyes and a level 6 Dragon. So you can just obviously Rise Impact and any of these Rise monsters. Boom, you got him. When this card is fusion summon, you can dump a Rise monster, and your opponent takes damage equal to half their attack, so you can dump Remedy. Then you have Rise Return Spirit face down. Next turn, Spirit can bring back your Rise Metal Dragon and go ham from there. And this card is destroyed, you can special summon any normal monster. So obviously get back any of these guys if you really need to. And by the way, this card says any normal monster. So if you want to play like some sort of cheeky, weird Blue Eyes and Red Eyes deck, mix them together, this card could actually bring back Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now that is pretty powerful right there. And for the only fusion monster, the last fusion monster, only 1 copy of Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. All this deck really needs is just a 1 Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. Occasionally, when I play this deck, usually these days, only the 1 Archfiend is really good as it is, and especially considering the fact we're only playing 1 Sun Skull, and that's about it. About the time your opponent does finally take care of it, by then, a good portion of your opponent's resources have already been gone to the point where he's done his job, and the rest of your Red Eyes monsters should be able to take care of from there on such. Your opponent can activate card effects in response while this card is battling, and when this card is done battling, you can immediately bounce a Red Eyes monster, a normal Red Eyes monster, from your graveyard back into your deck, and your opponent takes damage equal to the D attack of what that Red Eyes monster has. So, massive burn, and also more recycling, which is always pretty good, especially considering if you need more Red Eyes fusion targets, and if you need more fuel for your Black Star Legend as well. And then the Pixies engine, we have the 3 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragons, constant burn every time your opponent plays stuff, and bring back more Red Eyes monsters. 1 Gaia in case you need that extra piece of damage. 2 Big Eyes so we can steal everybody's monsters. 1 Dragossack pop stuff. I only play 1 Dragossack because occasionally these days I haven't really seen that many opportunities to play out the second Dragossack really that much. Usually these days, only 1 other time I actually did play a second Dragossack, and even then it wasn't really that good. So really only the 1 Dragossack is always really necessary. And then the last rank 7 Xyz, 1 absolute Odd Eyes because it can negate attacks like Utopia. And when this card is set to field the graveyard, you can bring out an Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck. And yeah, that's about it. And the only secret we play is the 1 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon because it can be brought out by the effect of Absolute Dragon. And it just has a really nice skill drain effect for your opponent. And yeah, just all in all, it just has a great skill drain effect for when you're trying to get your stuff going as well. And then for rank 6s, because we are playing Impact and we are playing some Skull, so why not? So they're in rank 6s. All we're playing is one Utopia Beyond to reduce the attack of all monsters to 0, one Patami to bounce back stuff and recycle stuff, and Photon Strike Bouncer because it's 2 effect failures in 1, and every time you effect failure something, you can inflict 1,000 points of damage, which is always nice. And yeah, everybody, that right there was my Red Eyes deck profile for December 2016. For those of you who want to check out my channel, if you want to see more of my content, my name is Christian Dragoon. You can check out my channel in the description down below. I do a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh content, of Yu-Gi-Oh Dragons. I made variations of Yu-Gi-Oh Dragons. But if you all don't care for Yu-Gi-Oh Dragons, I also play Card Vanguard. My 2 favorite clans are usually Kagero and Narukami, and you will see a lot of that content of those 2 clans a lot on my channel as well. So if you like Dragons of Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you like Kagero and Narukami of Card Vanguard, check out my channel. The link to my channel will be down in the description down below. And thank you all for watching, and hope you all have a good day. And I'm out. Peace. Bye.